Hey, welcome to another vlog here with me, Hannah Rose Cluley. It's been a while since I've uploaded one, to be honest. I've been very busy. I was on holiday in February for most of the month. You're like, yeah, fuck you, I know. But and then just coming back was really hard, and I took on so much work because I've been on holiday and I'm self-employed, so I don't get paid. And yeah, this has just not been something that I have put any energy into at all. But today I was listening to a really good podcast by Rachel Brethen, who's a yoga teacher, yoga girl on Instagram, and I just felt really inspired and really energized. So here I am back with a vlog, and I'm going to talk about a subject that I did an Instagram live on last Friday. I don't know if any of you caught it, but it's about friendship. And relationships in general, which is a very important thing because we all have them, we all have friends, we all have different relationships in our lives, and so I thought it'd be interesting and topical to talk about it with you. So the reason that I have been thinking a lot about friendship recently is because I had a kind of a friendship breakup recently with a really good friend who I've been friends with for about 6 years, and I won't go into it too much because the details will bore you, but she kept on kind of being flaky with meeting up, and she kept on cancelling and rearranging, and although a lot of it was because she was ill, it just made me feel shit that she kept on cancelling, and I told her about it and she didn't appreciate that was how I felt about it, because obviously to her she's ill, so she can't help it. And then there were lots of other things that just came out of her about how she felt about me, and it just ended up with us stopping talking, which is very sad, but that's the way things are. There have been other people in my life that I stopped talking to, and sometimes it just happens, and it's not something that gets talked about very often. Like, we talk so much about romantic relationship breakdowns that we never talk about friendship breakdowns, and they are things that happen, and it really feels like a loss sometimes because this person has been so important to you and potentially quite astronomical in terms of who you've become. They've played a very important part in that, and it does feel like a loss. And I went to a spoken word event, I suppose, with Rupi Kaur, who's an incredible poet and spoken word artist, and she read out a poem about heartbreak after losing a friend, and it made me think, like, it's not spoken about enough and it should be spoken about. And I was crying when she was reading out this poem because it felt so real. And as with regular relationships, you lose this person, you still have a respect for them, and I feel with this friend it was quite mutual, that we both felt that the energy that we were receiving from each other was not beneficial, and it was actually more negative. So I will never say a bad word about her, but it's just something that happened in my life, so I feel like it's important to talk about it. In terms of these friendship breakdowns, if this does happen, I think it's just important to remember that it's happened for a reason, and if they're not giving you what you need from them, and they're making you feel drained, and it feels like your energy is being sucked out, and they're like a negative area of your life, then maybe it's for the best, and they don't have to be out of your life forever. Like, I recently kind of reconnected with this person that I used to be good friends with, and we were just talking a little bit now, and it feels good to have that person back in my life, because, you know, sometimes you meet someone for 30 seconds, sometimes they're in your life for your whole life, and everyone plays a different role, and I think that's important to remember, and it doesn't define how important they are. Sorry, the length of time that they're in your life is not proportionate to how impactful is not a word, but I'm going to go there today, how impactful they are on your life. I don't think it's a word. Anyway, so, and then from here, it got me thinking about just general relationships and friendships, and how I'm going to give you some advice, basically. I want you to look at your friendship group, and the 5 people that you spend the most time with in your life are let me rephrase that. You are a amalgamation, a mix, a mirror image of the 5 people who you spend the most time with in your life. And I feel very lucky that those 5 people that I can count on my hand are incredible human beings, and they make me a wonderful person. But if those 5 people that you're spending the most time with don't support you, they don't have the same vision as you, they don't believe in the things that you believe in, or maybe they're negative in some way, that can really drag you down and that can make you very unhappy. So it's super important to look at those 5 people, maybe even write them down and think, are they giving me what I need? And if they're not, you don't have to cut them out completely, but maybe don't have them as one of those 5 people, okay? I went to a marketing lecture or seminar, just about marketing your own business, and the guy who was talking said he never wants to be the most successful person in the room, because you're therefore comparing yourself to those people who are less successful than you, and then you don't have room to grow because you're already at the top of the ladder. He was like, I always want to be the least successful person in the room because I can take so much from these people around me who are so successful, and therefore I can then grow. And then when you get to the top of that room, when you're the most successful person in that room, then you go into the next room, okay? So you're always continuously feeding and growing and learning. And sorry, my chair's swiveling, making me move. And that's the same with friendships, okay? You don't want to be the best, whatever best is for you in your world. You don't want to be the best person in the room, okay? You want to be surrounded by people who are making you better, who are lifting you higher, okay? And then sometimes one thing that you've learned from one friend, they're not giving you anything anymore. They're not helping you become a better person, and sometimes therefore you're going to have to make them leave your room, if that makes any sense. I don't know if this analogy is working, but it is in my head, so hopefully you're following with me. So yeah. And then this all got me thinking about a relationship that I had with this guy who will remain unnamed, but he doesn't give a fuck about social media, so he's never going to watch this, so it doesn't even matter. Is that about support? Okay, so I mentioned it briefly before, and it made me think about my Instagram, and probably most of you watching this know me on my Instagram. And I was dating him about 2 years ago. I thought he was the one. He was hilarious. He was Australian. It always goes Australia with me, apparently. But he did not like Instagram. He thought it was fickle, and he hated the idea of bloggers. And if he knew that that's what I did, then he would have cringed his face off. He didn't really know anything about the social media stuff, and it wasn't my job back then. He would have just hated everything. And because of that, I started to hate it a little bit, because you know, we're impressionable animals. As a species, we're impressionable, okay? We like copying the mannerisms of the people that we're around, because that's just what we do, that's how we survive, it's a natural instinct. And therefore I started hating what I was doing, and I felt demotivated to post. I didn't like what I was doing, and I look back now and it makes me so sad that I put so much. I'm not going out with him anymore, by the way. I was dead a while ago. It just makes me sad that I let that happen and that I didn't see it. I was a bit younger, but I just think it's really important to make sure you have people in your life who do support you. And even if they don't support you, like as in even if a boyfriend doesn't want to take your photos for you on your Instagram, or if he doesn't have Instagram, he's not negative about it, okay? Like, he can be neutral, but he doesn't have to be negative about it. You can have other people in your life who are the positive people backing you, and who do, like in the example of taking your photos, okay, maybe your boyfriend doesn't want to be an Instagram husband and isn't interested in that shit, but if you have a best friend who's like, yeah girl, I'll take your photos, then you know, you have that support from someone else. And it's okay that that other person doesn't necessarily support you as much in that realm, if that makes sense, because every single person in your life will play a different role, and you get one thing from one person and you get another thing from another. Like, my mum and I are very good friends. She's one of my best friends, But does she need to seek out relationship advice, as in romantic relationship advice, from me? No, I'm not that person for her to talk to about that, because I'm her daughter and it makes me feel weird inside. What? And so she will have another friend in her life that she can go to for that. And it's the same when my parents split up as well. She will have friends that she could go to talk about the breakdown of that relationship with my dad, and other friends that maybe she couldn't, you know? Like my aunt, for example, because sometimes it's tricky when it's family, if that makes sense to you. I keep on asking if it makes sense, and it should do, so I should stop asking for, what's the word, validation on what I'm saying. Anyway, that was basically the gist of what I wanted to talk to you about today, and I hope it was cohesive and I hope it made some sense to you. And yeah, does anyone have any comments? Have you had a relationship breakdown recently? It could be friendship, could be romantic. How do you feel? Are you now feeling inspired to go down and write out those 5 people that you spend the most time with and see what they are doing for you and see if they are positively impacting you? What do you think? Let me know in a comment. Please like, subscribe. Thank you for watching, and I'll be back very soon with another vlog. Bye!